we pause for a second or two. This is episode 71, Melody, part 2. Last time, when we talked about specific skill melody, we talked about that melody is what makes our life feel like it's truly ours. Melody is a way of saying what we are supposed to do. Melody is a way of saying when it feels right, and it feels like we are doing what only we can do, uniquely. Last time, in part 1 of specific skill melody, I also talked about how melody has been for me, and I spoke about my lifelong playing of the piano, and that playing the piano has made sense to me. Life feels meaningful and beautiful when I may understand it, also through playing the piano. So, in summary, last time in part 1 of melody, we talked about that our job is to find our melody, what makes sense to us personally as individuals, and to be true, what makes sense to us. Today, we will, in part 2 of melody, talk about our specific melody, our sense of purpose in a greater context. Today we will speak about our melody among other melodies. And we will not just speak about this in a general sense, but we will speak about our melody in the context of the melodies of our family. My melody makes sense on its own. My melody is beautiful on its own. This is true. However, listening to and learning about the other melodies in my family in that context, then my melody becomes like one instrument in a whole orchestra, or like one voice in a choir of voices. Yes, my melody is beautiful on its own. Yes, my melody makes perfect sense on its own. This is true. Together with the other melodies in my family, it makes even more sense. It becomes even more beautiful. It truly feels like my life once I understand my melody together with the rest of my family's melodies. So, what really sounds like music to me is very much related to what sounds like music to my spouse. What sounds like music to me and my brother is very much related to what sounds like music to our parents. What sounds like music to me and my parents is very much related to what sounds like music to my grandparents and their parents before them. A lot about understanding our own melody is about taking the time and also making the effort, because this is an effort. Sometimes this is difficult. It's about listening to what is the piano, so to speak, for our family members. For me, playing the piano makes sense. It's like I understand the importance of my life as I play the piano. One thing that really makes sense to my spouse is interior design, to build a beautiful home. It just makes sense to her. She loves doing it. One thing that truly made sense to my father and makes him feel alive is competition. To compete in sports. One thing that truly makes sense to my mother and makes her life feel full is to gather the family. one thing that truly makes sense to my brother and makes him feel good is to create elegant solutions. He is very talented at just finding elegant solutions to problems. As we grew up, when I was about, what could I have been? Maybe 6, 7 years old, I saw my older brother picking apart the different electronics in our house and then reassembling them. And he always did it in a very elegant way. He was very methodical, piece by piece. He picked it apart, like he picked apart our VHS player, tape player. He just opened it up, picked apart everything, and then just reassembled it. And you could use it again. Very elegant. My grandmother, on my mother's side, she always loved singing. And since she was little, she wanted to become an opera singer. She dreamed about it. But it didn't happen that way for her. And that experience shaped her and her sense of melody. And every time she sang these classical Swedish songs, dance songs from the 30s and 40s. And every time she sang, it was like meeting something very deep. Singing just made sense to her. And no, she did not become an opera singer, but the melody for her was still there. To be curious about the melodies of our family, and not least to be curious about our own melody. This is very important for our long-term situation. It is very important for when we make plans. It is very important for when we think about our future. And if we do not think about our melody, if we do not spend time with our melody, then we will not be available to anyone. If I would shun my piano, my playing the piano, then I would be closed off. Then no plans can be made. no real plans. This is how it works. It is through our language, our melody, that we make sense to ourselves and each other. And if we do not make sense to each other, we cannot make plans. There will be no future. No future that feels worthwhile. And this is just how it is. In these times that we live in right now, there is a lot of fear going around. There is a lot of fear spreading about being left out. And there is a lot of fear of being specific. There is a lot of fear of not fitting in. And right now, in these times, many people think that they should abandon their melodies, that they should abandon their piano or their interior design or their competition in sports or their elegant solutions or their gathering the family or their singing. People think they should abandon these things out of fear. And I can feel that as well, of course. We all do. We are all afraid of being singled out in a bad way. Yes, we are all afraid of being singled out in the worst way. To a high degree right now, we are hiding. In times of conflict, in times of insecurity, people hide. And we hide right now. All of us. And moving forward through these times, we do it with our families. And we do it through our melodies. We do it through them making sense, sounding like music, like harmonies in this piece of music. And I'm telling you right now, spend some time thinking about your family members, spend some time listening to them, spend some time making clear to yourself what their melodies are. Because in times of conflict, this is key. It makes cooperation and quick thinking so much more fluent, knowing how to connect with each other. That's it for today. Thank you.